Hello again, ladies, gentlemen, people, extraterrestrial aliens and everything in between. Here again with another Overwatch League analysis video. Today we are looking at the top 10 most improved players of Season 4. Now what I mean by most improved players are players who were in the league last season who weren't super good last year and improved greatly. But with introductions out of the way, let's get this list started. Starting off the list we have Sparkle. This may be seen as a little bit of a weird one, considering Sparkle was an amazing player in 2020 aka his rookie year, but the thing about his 2020 campaign is that he mostly only played Genji to a high level, and despite being probably the best Genji in the league, he didn't really impress on any other character. Heading into 2021 I was slightly doubtful of Sparkle due to the fact that he was mostly just a Genji one-trick in Season 3, but he proved all my doubts wrong. He showed incredible levels of flexibility this season, playing all of the following characters to an elite level: Tracer, Echo, Doomfist, Symmetra, Pharah, Reaper, and Soldier. Tracer specifically was a big concern for me and a lot of other people in the pre-season. The fuel lacked a true Tracer player, yet Sparkle proved that over the off-season he could practice the Tracer and get so good at it. Now he is considered a top 5 Tracer to me, and I think a lot of people would agree. Truly impressive how Sparkle could put his elite mechanics into so many characters that weren't just Genji, a true flex god. Nero. Nero didn't play that much for the charge in Seasons 2 and 3. He was mostly just there to play the heroes that Eileen didn't play, heroes like Mei and Pharah. But this season the Shock signed him as their main projectile DPS, and really proved that he is more than just a bench warmer. Despite most people's pre-season attention being towards Violet and Striker to be the San Francisco Shock's best players, Nero came in and proved that he could carry the team. The guy had to live up to Rascal, which was no easy task, yet he did it and then some. On so many different characters he impressed. Echo, Pharah, Mei, Torb, Tracer, Reaper, so many heroes he would carry on. I'm convinced that without Nero, the Shock are bottom of the standings. Despite the Shock not being able to pull off the three-peat, Nero is still championship level and was championship level all season. Excited to see what he can do in Overwatch 2 with the rain. Jaegon. Jaegon wasn't particularly bad in Season 3 aka his rookie year. His brig was very good in 2020, but he just felt very overly aggressive at times. I don't think I should have to remind anyone of Oasis University against the Shock in the playoffs. That was a very bad Lucio performance. Again, he wasn't a bad player in 2020, it's just against the elite level teams he did get punished, teams like the Shock and Roadhog Dynasty. But this season he really stepped up his game. On Mercy and Lucio he became arguably the best on both characters. His awareness and game sense became a whole lot better, as he started to make a lot less of those careless mistakes, and his brig that was already super good just got even better. I think a lot of people would agree with me when I say he has become the best main support in the league. Even his BAP was pretty good the few times he played it in a BAP Zen composition. From an overly aggressive player at times, to the king of all main supports, it's crazy to see how Jaegon has improved his already pretty good play. And now he sits at the top of the world as a reigning champion. Hotbar. Last season on the NYXL, Hotbar was never a super good off-tank. He had a very selfish playstyle that led to his main tank partner Mono being left alone to die pretty often. He overall just wasn't good at peeling for his team, and felt very overly aggressive, similar to Jaegon. But this season all of that changed. Considering he was a last-second signing who was only there to fill in for Poco until he got his visa, Hotbar performed way above expectations. With the same main tank partner as 2020, It felt like all the same problems would occur with Hotbar in the lineup, but no, Hotbar stepped up his game, became less overly aggressive and learned to peel for mono in a very effective way. He became an incredible diva player, a very good Sigma, and in my opinion the best Zarya in the league. From a last-second Bannock signing to one of the most valuable members of the Fusion's roster, it's really nice to see how Hotbar has improved, and I can't wait to see what he can do in Overwatch 2 with the Toronto Defiant. AkaIris. In 2020, AkaIris' rookie year, he was mediocre. Pretty much all of the Atlanta Reign was mediocre in 2020. He was a late-season pickup that was only picked up because Dogman was struggling, and in 2021 the Reign decided to re-sign him. This was a questionable decision to me and a lot of people, because the Reign could have easily gone for a different flex support player from contenders. But the Reign saw something in him, and boy did it pay off. His BAP play was a key part of the Reign's massive success this season. His style of BAP was so fun to watch and did so much for the Reign. Dealing nearly 5,000 damage per 10 minutes was a lot on its own, yet his defensive assists with the immortality field and healing rates were also pretty good, outputting around 12,000 healing per 10 minutes, a great balance between healing and damage on BAP. But BAP wasn't his only good hero. Despite playing a lot more BAP than any other hero, his Moira and Ana were still very impactful, dealing a lot of damage and healing on both characters as well. Overall the guy went from a mediocre and forgettable player, to a top 5 flex support whose impact with damage and healing rates are unforgettable. Can't wait to see what he does in Overwatch 2 next season with the Outlaws. Masa. This guy has been with the Reign since the very beginning. He was the starting main support all the way back in Season 2, and in Season 2 aka his rookie year he was pretty good. His Lucio did a lot of work for the Reign, but he was never a top-tier main support, he was just okay. Season 3 it all crumbled. Again, Reign were very mediocre in Season 3. As a result Masa didn't perform super well. But just like Iris, the Reign had faith in him to become a superstar player, and boy oh boy did he do that. The guy is honestly so underrated. I talked a lot about his incredible Lucio play in my best player at every hero video, so if you haven't checked out that video yet I recommend doing that after this video. But anyways, I think Masa was the second best main support in the league this season, right behind Jaegon. He was consistently putting up great performances on every main support, Mercy, Lucio and Brig. The value this guy brought to the Reign this season was so important. He puts up consistent stats on every main support and does a great job of enabling his team with speed boosts, Lucio boops, whip shots, shield bashes, and damage boosts. I had to shine some light on Masa because he just doesn't get talked about enough. The man is a legendary main support player, enough said. Super hyped to see him in Overwatch 2 with the Titans. Next up we have a tie, Gator and Hawk. These two are inseparable. If I put one on the list I had to put the other, because they come as a pair. It's a shame that in Overwatch 2 they won't be able to play together. But these guys have been playing together in the pro scene for 3 years now. It goes all the way back to their days on the Atlanta Academy roster in Contenders. Then in Season 3 Gator got off his two-way contract and Hawk got promoted. And their 2020 rookie performance in the league was pretty mediocre. Again for the third time, the entire Reign roster in 2020 wasn't that good. But in 2021 these guys improved so much it's insane, and I'd argue they are the most well-synergized tank line in the league. Gator became in my opinion the best Orisa in the league, and a top 5 Reinhardt. Meanwhile Hawk became a top 5 Diva and Sigma. Gator's aggressive high-damage dealing playstyle is enabled by Hawk's highly defensive diva playstyle. And to add on to that, both of these guys were very clutch in the big moments. When it wasn't Kai or Pelican making the big plays, it was Gator and Hawk. Watching these two play this season was beautiful, like an artistic masterpiece. I've been talking about a lot of Atlanta players throughout the list and how much they've all improved, but I think a lot of the credit has to go to Coach Hunter, the brains behind this team. He reshaped this roster into a championship team. It's a shame that he was going to be one of the Valiant's assistant coaches until the big blow up, because the Valiant could have been in the same spot as the Reign in 2021. Either way, Hunter is an amazing coach and needs some more praise in my opinion for what he did to this team. Izayaki. Where do I even begin with this guy? He was on the Valiant for the second half of Season 1 and the first half of Season 2 before joining the Dragons in the second half of Season 2. He didn't do much for them in Season 2 considering Luffy was the starter, and in Season 3 he became that starting player. But he was easily the weakest member of the Dragons' starting lineup. He had some questionable transcendences on Zen, and overall didn't live up to the rest of the Dragons. And heading into Season 4 the Dragons signed Molly as a second flex support, so a lot of people were doubtful of Izayaki to even get much playtime. I myself thought that Molly was going to become the starter, but boy oh boy was I wrong. The way this guy improved was unlike anything I've ever seen. He cleaned up his messy play and his mechanical skill is out of this world. His Zen and Ana quickly became the best in the league, with his incredible aim and godlike healing capabilities. His Bap and Moira were also stellar, not his signature characters but he was still exceptional at both heroes. Listen to these stat improvements from 2020 to 2021. On Zenyatta, his eliminations per 10 minutes has increased from 12 to 15, his damage rate per 10 minutes has increased from around 4,600 to around 6,500, his healing rate per 10 minutes has also increased from around 6,300 to 7,100. He went from the worst starting member of an elite team to one of the best players on that same team. He won the entire league and is arguably the best flex support in the league. Incredible stuff from this flex support legend. And finally for number 1, I think we all know who it is.
Leave! What is that?
Oh my god, leave.
To try to give himself a little bit more positioning. And wow, leave on the Symmetra has been scary, dude. That beam is going nowhere but the enemy's faces. A 3K, a 4K for leave.
20 seconds now on the clock. Soul Dynasty gonna have to retreat as these kills continue to come through. It's good. Stagger on the side of the Tokyo Hunters.
Izayaki. Oh my god, leave is keep shooting. That's ridiculous. Storm arrows, by the way.
Hunters are taking too much damage here, despite losing Monty Grifo.
To the backline though, Dallas Fuel want to be trying to stop them where they stand. Leave with the beat down. A lot of the damage that was going their way. Fielder set up a lovely sleep dart into the pulse bomb. The Gaga falls very low, but he rolls away to safety, and Leave in the backline is just doing Leave things.
The reigning MVP himself has to be number 1. Everyone was hyped for Leave's Overwatch League debut in 2020. He had finally turned 18 in his 2018 second-place World Cup performance with Team China had everyone hyped. But his rookie year was pretty mediocre. He wasn't a bad player, just the Hunters in general weren't super good, and as a result Leave didn't get to show his true powers. But in 2021, under a better roster, and probably a lot of practice, Leave became the most hard carry player this season. Let's start with his Tracer. I talked about this a lot in my best player at every hero video. Again, check that video out after this one, but anyways, to sum it all up, Leave's Tracer carried the Hunters out of a lot of bad situations. Remember when they were about to go down 2-0 to the Fuel in the summer showdown on Volskaya? Leave rolled out on that signature Tracer of his and pulled off a flare to deadlift. In case you don't know what that is, it's where a player deals 70% or more of their team's total damage on a map. Not only that, but he had more final blows on that map than all of his teammates combined. But it wasn't just on that game against the Fuel. Leave carried on Tracer in all of the Hunters matches, except of course in Stage 2 when Tracer was banned, but aside from that Leave output so much damage, was always big in the clutch moments, and could turn around fights just off of his sheer mechanics. Even when the Hunters were losing or the rest of the team wasn't pulling their weight, Leave was still popping off in the kill feed and just carrying. His positioning, aim, game sense, and carry potential are second to none. But Tracer isn't the only hero Leave carried on. In Stage 2 when she was banned, Leave pulled out the Echo and instantly became a top 3 Echo. Everything I said about why Leave is a god at Tracer applies for why he is a god at Echo: mechanics, positioning, duplicate value. It's all so good. But there's more. He also hard carried on Hanzo, Genji, Ashe, Cassidy, Widow, and Sombra. With every hero he touched, he brought his mechanics, game sense, and hard carry playstyle. The guy was the true flex god of the Overwatch League. With multiple flare to deadlifts, top in final blow rate out of any player in the league, and so many more amazing stats under his belt, the reigning MVP himself was truly a different breed of player, a type of player that we may never see again. But that's gonna do it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe and check out some of my other videos. And until next time, bye bye.